Hello all, Gary YouTube here. So as you can see, I'm joining the tier list bandwagon. This is something I've wanted to do for a while now, and I've never known quite what to do a tier list of in regards to names and words. Then 2021 came to an end, and we had all these different words of the year. So word of the year is something many different establishments do. It tends to be sort of dictionaries and publications like that tend to have a word of the year to sum up the previous year. And I have gathered as many as I could find, some of those interesting ones. There weren't as many as I thought there would be. I think I've got 11 here or so. Not as many languages other than English seem to do words of the year, but we found some, and we're going to put them in a tier list. What is the criteria for this tier list, I hear you asking? Well, it's kind of how much I like the word itself and how fitting I think it is to be word of the year for 2021. However, it's not just me putting these in a bracket. I've got facts as well because that's what you guys are here for. You guys are here to learn. You're not here to enjoy yourself. You're here to learn things. That's what Namespace is all about. It's not about enjoying things. It's about learning. It's about buckling down and just researching and learning. If you're having fun, you're doing it wrong. No, I'm just kidding. So I've got in front of me my iPad here, and I've written down. Well, not written. I've taken quotes from why each of these establishments chose these as their word of the year for 2021. And so there's just an extra fact. Not so much etymologies. One of them might have its etymology and its meaning, but most of these are words you guys probably already know. I've done the origins of them. Maybe I should have said the origin of them, but we've missed that ship now, it seems. But how I'm rating this is perfect. So that's if I think, oh, this is perfect. This makes all the sense in the world to be word of the year for 2021. Then we've got make sense. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can see why I've done that. Kind of see it. That's like, yeah, I kind of see it. And then there's like, what now? Like, what? Like, that's word of the year? And then there's, really? Like, they're my five categories for words of the year. I think you can do this yourself, possibly. You feel free to go find it on Tier Maker. And of course, remember, this is just my own opinion. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinion. And most importantly, this is just a bit of silly nonsense while I can't be able to make an actual video. So, yeah, that's it. Let's get into it, shall we? So, our first word of the year is vax, and this comes from the OED, that being the Oxford English Dictionary. OED is my dictionary of choice always and forever. It's the one I use for meanings, definitions. When I'm looking at new words being added to the dictionary, to me, OED is the one. And they chose VAX, VAX, as their word of the year for 2021. And they said on the matter, VAX is our 2021 word of the year. When our lexicon graphers began digging into our English language corpus data, it quickly became apparent that VAX was a particularly striking term, a relatively rare word in our corpus until this year. By September, it was over 72 times more frequent than at the same time last year. It has generated numerous derivatives that we are now seeing in a wide range of informal contexts, from vax sites and vax cards to getting vaxxed and being fully vaxxed. No better word captures the atmosphere of the past year than vaxxed. So that was, so I'm just scratching my head right now. That was OED's explanation as to why they feel that vax was their word of the year. And while I agree with OED, I'm not going to say it's perfect. I'm going to say that makes sense. It does. It makes sense. Vax does make an awful lot of sense. So I'm going to put that right there because Vax makes sense, simply. But I'm not going to argue with it either way, really. I get why they chose it. However, I think the perfect one is the next one chosen by Merriam-Webster, that being vaccine. I'm going to shove that straight into perfect because, yeah, vaccine is the perfect word of the year for 2021. I know vax and vaccine are kind of the same. I think OED were trying to be a bit more abstract because vax has been used more and it captures. Oh god, maybe it is perfect because while vaccine has been about for years, like vax is strikingly more 2021. So if we're judging this, interesting. Maybe vax is perfect, and maybe vaccine does make sense. I've talked myself out of it. Because vax is more fitting for 2021 in particular, while as vaccine is going to be important just in general, really. So I'm kind of more inclined to think that potentially. Anyway, so let's see what Merriam-Webster had to say about a vaccine. They said, in everyday word, blah, let's try again. So Merriam-Webster said in regards to vaccine, in everyday use, words are useful tools that communicate assertions, ideas, aspirations, and uncertainties, but they can also become vehicles for ideological conflict. This is what happened to vaccine in 2021. The promising medical solution to the pandemic that upended our lives in 2020 also became a political argument and source of division. The biggest science story of our time quickly became the biggest debate in our country, and the word at the center of both stories is vaccine. So I kind of feel like they're both perfect. Like maybe they're equal. Maybe they don't need to be one or the other. Maybe they're both perfect. That feels cheeky. I feel like I can't go straight away to at the top of perfect with vax and vaccine. No, I'm going to say vaccine makes sense. I'm going to change completely what I thought. I think vaccine makes an awful lot of sense because 2021's been was all about vaccines. But so is 2022, and probably a lot of years. A lot of years in the past have been about vaccines, and a lot of years in the future has been about vaccines. That word, the actual word of vaccine itself, has been in quite common usage. I mean, it spiked in usage in 2021 for sure, but I feel vax is so distinctly 2021. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Um, and next up, we have different languages. So it's not just English that does Word of the Year, though not as many languages I thought would do Word of the Year. Then they do. But I found out that the Spanish Word of the Year was vacuna, the Portuguese word was vaccina, and the Russian one was Vaxunia. I can't remember how to pronounce it in Russian. I should have checked that. But basically, vaccine was the word of the year in other languages too. So I've got that here. I've got those all three together. I'm going to put that in the make sense category as well. Yeah. So those two together, vax perfect, makes sense. So vaccine and its various different ways of spelling it in other languages, they make sense. Let's move on, shall we, to dictionary.com and their word of the year. Their word of the year was allyship. And they said on the matter, there is one word that's intertwined with so many of the things we've experienced in 2021, allyship. Our 2021 Word of the Year, allyship, noun, the status or role of a person who advocates and actively works for the inclusion of the marginalized or politicized groups in all areas of society, not as a member of that group, but in solidarity with its struggles and points of view and under its leadership. As our Word of the Year for 2021, allyship carries a special distinction this year. It marks the first time we've chosen a word that's new to our dictionary as our Word of the Year. Our addition of the chosen word allyship to our dictionary in 2021, not to mention our decision to elevate it to our top word of the year, captures important ways the world continues to evolve in language and reflects its increasing prominence in our discourse. Allyship acts as a powerful prism through which to view the defining events and experiences of 2021 and, crucially, how the public process them. It also serves as a compelling through line for much of our Let's try that again. It also serves as a compelling through line for much of our lexicographical, editorial, and educational work across dictionary.com and thesaurus.com this year. You know what? When I think allyship as word of the year, you know what I say? I kind of see it. I do. I kind of see it. I get why. I still think things more to the point of vaccine and vax make more sense because 2021 was so much about vaccination, the pros of it, the cons of it, everyone's thoughts of vaccination, getting vaccinated. I don't think, but I think it's interesting how they've also picked a word new to their dictionary to add as word of the year. That'd be really interesting if words of the year were always words that were new to the dictionary. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do. That hasn't, obviously, vaccine and vax have been in the dictionaries for a very long time now. But I think allyship's cool because it does also kind of tie into the vaccines, like allyship with people who want to get vaccinated, allyship with people who don't want to get vaccinated. And I like how allyship, they say here, specifically refers to being an ally. So that means not being of the same, not being part of the group being marginalized, but supporting them. So that could be like, even if you're pro-vaccination and other people are anti-vax, supporting their decision to not get the vaccine. It kind of ties into that as well. So yeah, I kind of see it. Simply put, I kind of see it. And that's the place for it, allyship. I'm not going to say it makes sense because that's the top one, but I kind of see it. And then we go on to Collins Dictionary, and Collins picked NFT as their word of the year. Yeah, so let's see what Collins had to say about it. NFT, the abbreviation of a non fungible token, the unique digital identifier that records ownership of a digital asset which has entered the mainstream and seen millions spent on the most sought after images and videos, has been named Collins Word of the Year 2021. Really? Like, I don't know. Maybe I've missed the bandwagon on NFTs, or maybe I shouldn't have because maybe I should make some NFTs. Maybe I should make name explain videos NFTs. Probably earn me a bit more money than what I'm doing it now. But I don't know. Something about NFTs just really stinks to me personally, and I feel like making. I don't think they were defining. They were a big thing in 2021. Whether they continue to be a big thing remains to be seen. But I think summarizing the year in just NFTs, I think that's really stupid because I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitter. Maybe I missed the NFT train, and maybe I'm just angry like that. But I don't know. To me, that's just really that's what you're going with for Word of the Year, despite the fact that we've had this huge vaccine and coronavirus still ongoing. You picked NFT. I know why they do this. They do it like this to get a reaction. It's good to make your Word of the Year something ridiculous so people share it on social media, and I guess job done. Well done, Collins, but he's still going at the bottom of my tier list. Let's go on. This is Cambridge Dictionary's word of the year. Cambridge is kind of like the second in command to Oxford. Obviously, here in the UK, it's popular worldwide as well. But Cambridge chose perseverance as their word of the year. And Cambridge, and this is what they said in the matter, Cambridge Dictionary has announced perseverance as its word of the year 2021. It's a word that perfectly captures the undaunting will of people across the world to never give up, despite the many challenges of 2021, and of course, the global interest in the NASA mission to Mars. Prior to 2021, perseverance didn't appear noticeably in lookups on the Cambridge Dictionary website. However, a spike of 30,487 searches for perseverance occurred between the 19th to 25th of February 2021, after NASA's Perseverance rover made its final descent on Mars on the 18th of February. I kind of see it. I get why. Obviously, it has reference to the events with NASA and the Perseverance rover, so that makes sense. It captured the zeitgeist for a brief spell there in 2021. As the NFTs had a brief capture of the zeitgeist in 2021. However, NFT doesn't really have any of a wider meaning, whereas perseverance does. This has been a very persevering year, 2021. We persevered through getting through more of COVID. So I'm going to put this once again in kind of see it, or maybe makes sense. There's not much between make sense and kind of see it. No, I kind of see it. I kind of see it. I feel like these ones, it's your gut reaction I'm going with here. And if I were to say to someone, hey, did you know a vaccine was the word of the year? I imagine they would go, yeah, it makes sense. Whereas if I said to them, hey, did you know perseverance was the word of the year? They would go, kind of see it. That's what I've gone with here. So yeah, I'm keeping it there. And yeah, I'm happy with that. And now we go on to the American Dialect Society. And they chose the word insurrection as their word of the year. And they said in the matter, more than a year after the attacks on the US Capitol on the 6th of January 2021, it says January 6th here, but I'm British, I'm saying 6th of January. Days go before months, people. Days before months. Because it's smaller. You go day, months, year, they're bigger things. Why would you put the month first? Silly Americans. But I forgive you because you watch my videos. As they said, the nation is still coming to grips with what happened that day. At the time, words like coup, sedition, and riot were used to describe the disturbing events at the Capitol. But insurrection, a term for a violent attempt to take control of the government, is the one that many felt best encapsulated the threat of democracy experienced that day. The lasting effects of that insurrection will be felt for years to come. I'm tempted to put this in really as well, because like I said, it only sums up such a small fragment and such a geographically specific fragment of 2021. Of course, it was a huge deal. and it will be felt for years. And we've just passed the year anniversary at time of recording, but it was very American centric thing. It doesn't capture, to me, the word of the year has to capture like a worldwide event, and the insurrection, what was viewed around the world. I don't think it's as dumb as NFT. I think it's gonna have more staying power than NFT. So I'm gonna put it in. What now? You got to say it. What now? So I'm gonna pop it there, just so at least we have one thing in every category, because that's what you need to do, I think. Yeah, that's what I think you need to do. So yeah, I'm gonna put it there. I don't think it should have been word of the year, but who am I to judge? Although I do have my own word of the year I'll reveal to you guys after at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna put insurrection in. What now? Because I just feel that's where it kind of deserves to be. Yeah, I don't think it really. It's not as dumb as NFT, but I'm gonna put it there. And they're all the ones from America and England and Britain anyway, the UK. But like I said, other countries do words of the year. As we mentioned, Spain, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian with variation of vaccine. I found a couple other ones, and one of those being the German word of the year, which is Wellenbrecher. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm sure my German speaking viewers will let me know down below. Wellenbrecher. And this was picked by the, oh gosh, here we go. The Gesellschaft für Deutsche Sprache, which means the German Language Association. And this quote about why this word was chosen doesn't come directly from them, but it comes from the Transparent Language word blog. So thank you very much for writing this, guys. And they said that this word literally means wave breaker, originally relating to coastal protection and ship construction. In 2021, the word Wellenbacher took on a new meaning in Germany. It was used to refer to all the measures the country has taken to prevent the fourth coronavirus wave. A person can also be called a Wellenbacher for taking precautions themselves. Wellenbacher. Wellenbacher. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not German myself, so this word hasn't had much impact on me. But I can kind of see it. Oh, no, you know what? That makes sense, maybe. Maybe it makes sense. Let's go with makes sense. It does make sense that, especially if you were German, if that's the German word of the year, and that's what Germany did for so much of the year. I don't know if you're German. Let me know how well the Wallenblacher did, because I'm not German myself. Let me know how in commonplace that word was throughout the year, because I'd love to hear. Because I think that's really interesting. I'm going to put it. No, maybe I'll take it down. I'll take it down to kind of see it. Kind of see it. No. Maybe it's no. Makes sense. Makes sense. It does make sense. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, let's put it there. Anyway, and next we have Shiru. Shiru, and this comes from Sansido and Sansedu. They are a Japanese dictionary publisher, and this extract about why this word was chosen comes from Nippon.com, and they said dictionary publisher Sansedu picked Shiru, an adjective based on the English phrase chill out, as its word of the year for 2021. It's from the late 2010s. Young Japanese have adapted the English into a verb form like chirusu and chirutilu, and adjectives like chiruna and the winning chulu. Like chilled out or its adjective chill, chilu means to relax or be at ease. It might be used to describe a Sunday afternoon or the atmosphere of a favourite cafe. COVID-19 has buffeted the world again in 2021, but many are hoping they can at least enjoy a shiru time in the new year period. What now? I like it. I kind of like what they've done with it. I think it's cool. I think it's a very interesting way to go. It's all about being relaxed and chill and happy, but I don't know. I'm not Japanese. Once again, if you happen to be living in Japan or if you're Japanese yourself, let me know how popular this word has been over the course of 2021. Because personally, I don't know. I feel like there should be more pressing things, but it's a really fun one to share. Yeah, I think that's a fun enough one to talk about and highlight here. But I'm going to put it in what now because that's how I feel about it, really. And then we go on to the Macquarie Dictionary. I think that's that right. The Macquarie Dictionary. This is an Australian English dictionary highlighting specifically Australian words, Australian English words. And their word of the year was Stroll-out. And Australia is a country I have a bit more information about because I follow sort of Australian content. Basically, the Weekly Planet keeps me updated with what's going on in Australia, so that helps me out quite well. And they picked Stroll-out as their word of the year, and the definition of Stroll-out, if you don't know, is the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination program in Australia, with reference to the perceived lack of it. And the dictionary themselves said, for only the second time, the people's choice is the same as the committee's choice, and it was a clear winner, way ahead of the rest of the field. There were obviously strong feelings about the actual stroll out, but the word's popularity is no doubt influenced by that Australian weariness evident in its construction. Stroll out has two levels. At one level, it's got a transparent and play on word blah. At one level, it's got transparency and a play on words, but at that deeper level, when you think about the significance of it, it's a really important mark for this time in Australian history. I love this. I don't know if it's maybe it is perfect. No, I'm going to say makes sense. No, because as an Australian word for the year, it really is quite perfect because if you didn't know, Australia supposedly, from what I've heard from my Australian sources, e.g. Nick and James of the Weekly Planet, Australia really bungled rolling out the vaccine. Like they didn't buy enough or something. I'm sure an Australia viewer down in the comments will explain this in more detail to me. But yeah, like apparently, and just stroll out is a perfect because we've all around the world been calling it the vaccine rollout. How we're going to roll out the vaccine, how we're going to get people jabbed or get people get their shots. But in Australia, it was much more of a dawdle than a panic to roll out. It really was a kind of a gentle stroll. It was a stroll out. It is perfect. It is perfect. I'm going to put it up there. Yeah, that's happy with me. And you may notice that this last one isn't a word so much, but it's an emoji because emojis are basically words at this point too. I want to make a video about how emojis work in language. So I felt I'd put one here, and this actually comes from the World Emoji Awards. Awards. The World Emoji Awards. Or awards. What is it? Awards. Is it awards? I've written awards at one point. I've written awards at another point. It's the World Emoji Awards. Got it. And this is the syringe emoji. And the World Emoji Awards said, after more than 5,000 votes, the syringe emoji was selected as the overall winner and declared the most 2021 emoji. And it's hard to argue with that. I think that makes an awful lot of sense. I'm going to pop. Maybe it's perfect. In regards to emojis, yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. I'm going to do it. Come at me, bro. I think if you had to encapsulate 2021 in one emoji, no, because I feel like the upside down smiling face is quite appropriate for it as well. I'm going to put it in makes sense. I'm going to put it in makes sense, I think, because it makes sense as to why that would be. I don't know if it's absolutely perfect. I feel like, or maybe like, is there like someone smiling on fire emoji? I think I like the upside down smiley face. That's the one I personally have as a perfect emoji for 2021. But vaccine makes an awful lot of sense. But there's also something quite interesting about the syringe emoji in 2021, and they actually changed it. At least Apple did anyway. And I've got a little thing from here from the BBC saying Apple is changing its syringe emoji to remove the dripping blood. So if you remember, the syringe used to have like a blood drip to it, and this happened in 2021. It was changed. As it becomes widely used to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine, Apple's new version has nothing inside the needle. This makes the emoji more versatile when used to describe COVID-19 vaccination, explained Emojipedia, the site that catalogs the icons. So yeah, like I think that's really cool as well. The fact that the vaccine was such a big deal that they changed an emoji for it, because they do. It used to be this horrible blood thing. I had like blood dripping from the top of it. I guess to reference like blood donations or a blood test, but that makes more sense. It's more versatile to use. It's great. It makes sense, as I said. So yeah, that's my tier list for words of the year, for various words of the year for 2021. So up in perfect, we have Vax, because I feel Vax does really encapsulate 2021 quite perfectly. And then we have Stroll Out, which seems to have perfectly captured how the vaccine was dealt with, specifically in Australia. So yeah. And then in the make sense category, we have vaccine because it does make a lot of sense, and its various spellings around the world. The Wallenblacher, which is the German wave breaker, which makes an awful lot of sense, I imagine, to Germany specifically. They let me know if it doesn't. And we've got the syringe emoji as well, because it makes an awful lot of sense to be the emoji of 2021. For kind of see it, we have allyship and perseverance, because I kind of see why they were chosen. They have wider meaning, but also kind of relate to the vaccine, but not as directly. Yeah, then we have in the what now category of insurrection and shuri, because I'm not versed well enough in Japanese culture to know how much of an impact Shurui has had. And Insurrection, like I said, I kind of get why it was used. It was a big event, but it was very specific to one part of the world. And then we have NFT, which is just like, really? It just seems like a bit of a cash grab for that one. Cash grab, pun intended. Is that a pun? I don't know. Yeah, that was my words of the year. This is really fun to do. I want to do more. If you've got any more idea for tier lists, I could do. I probably will do this next year as well. I think my tradition for this New Year week is probably now going to be my New Year update video, a tier list, and then on Friday you will have your new words that entered the dictionary in 2021 video, which will be animated me. You can stop looking at my silly face. It won't have my silly face in it. So yeah, but before I go, I want to tell you the name explain word of the year, and I'm really surprised to see it didn't become a word of the year anyway, because I feel it's obvious. My word of the year has to be variant. I haven't got it here 'cause I'm not going to put my own stupid word of the year, because it'd be perfect. I'm not going to put my own silly word of the year in the tier list, but I really feel that the word that best describes 2021 is variant, and that's for a couple of reasons. Because obviously, the various variants of COVID-19 that plagued this year. I mean, the year started off with the Alpha variant, which came over from the end of 2020 here in the UK. And that put a big spanner in the works. We had the Delta variant that put another big spanner in the works towards the middle of the year, and then 2021 ended with the Omicron variant, which also lots of maybe spanner should be the word of the year for 2021. Why would no? It's definitely variant. It's just they had a big effect on the year, and variant unto itself away from coronavirus. It kind of means a slight alteration on something familiar. And 2021 really was a variant of just 2020 in many ways. It was very similar to the year prior, but also quite different. So that's why I think variant would be a really good word of the year. And also variant had quite a big impact in popular culture as well. I'm a really big Marvel fan, a big MCU fan, and variant was being used all over the place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was undoubtedly one of the highlights of 2021 in regards to pop culture. There was so much Marvel stuff that came out this year, from TV shows, of course. Loki, the TV series Loki, is where variant was used an awful lot. And of course, in the latest Spider-Man film, there are variants of various villains from the previous Spider-Man films. I won't say any more for spoiler reasons if you haven't watched it already. Yeah. But that was variant is officially the name explained word of the year. But let me know what you think word of the year should have been. Do you agree with my listing? Remember, this is just my own personal opinion. If you don't agree with this, that's fine. Go do this tier list yourself. Go tell me in the comments where you think things should have been. And of course, tell me what you think should have been the word of the year for 2021. I should really go make an actual video now. This is Gary YouTube signing out. Take care.